welcome to Season 2 of Locked in My Office. I'm Shane. I'm a guy that works at Migigan Tek, and I like to explore what other people are doing at Migigan Tek and what interesting stories these people have to share. And so that's what this podcast is for. We're in Season 2, and, well, let's see where it goes. In this episode, I'm talking with Jake and Logan about the Migigan Tek movement. It was kind of a meme slash prank slash trend, and it was really fun to watch. And so it was nice to kind of go back with them and talk about how it started and how it kind of exploded in the way it did, and also how it ended. But we also take a look at just student culture and, what things like Discord mean to a lot of students and how important it can actually be to our student body. So I hope you enjoy, and don't forget you can go to oberloier.com/limo, and you can recommend guests or questions that you might want us to ask. So without further ado, all right, we're back. Season 2, baby.
Oh my gosh, already?
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, I mean, if a season is only one semester, it's kind of 14 episodes-ish.
That's fair.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm Shane, for those of you that are just now picking up. I'm a professor at Migigan Tek, but who cares? And who else do we have here?
I am Logan. I am the guy behind the Migigan Tek t-shirts. And then...
I'm Jake. I did all the stickers.
Yeah, so you're talking about or alluding to the Migigan Tek shirt, which I also wore mine today. And so it was kind of, it still is a meme that, organically developed. And one of the things I wanted to do today was kind of chronicle that and maybe in some ways put a pin in it or something. I don't think there'll ever fully be a pin in it, but anyways, and so I guess we can just get started. So my first question is, how did this get started? I know neither of you were the original designers, but we were all kind of there when the Migigan Tek came about. So I guess, do either of you want to speak to where the Migigan Tek started?
Yeah, so I know it all kind of started with the Nillen's design of the crazy smirt. I don't remember exactly what we were making fun of at that point.
Well, so that was, I can actually speak, that was back when I first started here. That was the Tek's old slogan was crazy smart students or something like that.
Yeah.
And they canceled that at one point. I think that'd be the word. They stopped doing it. I don't remember what year, just a few years back now. 2019 or so, something in there. And so that's where the logo itself came from, because that was just making fun of the logo that they had for
yeah.
So so the crazy smart kind of started to exist. Actually, right, we were looking back in the old Discord messages, and it was actually smirt crazy was the way it was being said first, and then yeah. So go ahead and continue.
And then from there was, for the Migigan Tek itself, there was inspiration from the, what is it?
The first robotics.
Yeah, the first robotics, ball drop, here's what...
the kickoff event.
The kickoff, that's what it is. Kickoff for, oh gosh, what was it, 2019? It was
I don't know, that was after
something.
My last year was the 2016 year, which was Steamworks. So it was after I finished with it.
Because it was Steamworks, then Power Up, then... Was it the space one next?
That sounds right.
That sounds about right.
So, there's some event, there was a kickoff.
Yes. Yep. But someone horribly misspelled the word Michigan. And we said, that's hilarious. So when my very dear friend Josh was messing around on MS Paint, he said, it'd be really hilarious. What if we were Migigan Tek? And he's like, I'm going to try and draw my own husky. And it looked so bad, and it was glorious.
Yeah, so this is actually what I want to say, It's the athletic logo, right? This is the athletic logo. So
well, I mean, it's very much not the athletic.
Yeah,
logo.
yeah. Well, it is a
For
parody.
legal reasons.
Yeah, it is not legally. Oh yeah, I forgot the legal stuff. Thank you so much for reminding me. I should say it now.
Yes.
This also covers retroactively. One, you guys aren't protected from self-incrimination. Number two, if you're in danger in any way, I'm going to report it. And three, especially for this episode, anything we talk about does not necessarily recommend the views of Migigan Tek or their logos. So, sorry I got that back out of the way.
Yeah, it's good to get out of the way. It's good to get out of the way.
Yeah, so generated the logo, the Migigan Tek MS Paint logo.
Yes. Put it in the ECE server, and I don't remember exactly who it was, but someone said, that's hilarious. Someone should put it on a shirt.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I remember our first order was like, we were struggling to get 25 people to like be interested in a shirt. I had to buy a bunch of extras. I put my own money into it. I'm like, I'm not sure anyone's actually going to like this.
Yeah.
And I distributed them in the library, in one of the study rooms, as freshman orientation groups were coming around. And that was the start of everything.
Gotcha.
Someone said, ooh, I want one of those. Can I get one of those? Oh no, you're out. Can I sign up for a second order? And it's like,
we could
try it.
The Migigan Tek Discord server didn't exist at that point.
No, it did not. No, it was all through the ECE server for a hot minute. Yeah. And then the second order, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I'll let people know about that. So I like message all these people on Discord. I send all their emails because that's how people signed up for the interest list. And I look a couple days later and it's like, oh, there's like 150 shirts that have been ordered.
Yeah.
I might be a little out of my depth here.
Yeah, I mean, so it was mostly word of mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much, at least I only did word of mouth. I don't know what other people were doing.
Well,
but...
I never saw signs.
Yeah, I never saw signs.
Yeah, so
I will say it did get to Reddit. I put it on Reddit when I was looking at doing the stickers because I didn't really need another shirt at the time. But I had an empty space on my laptop right next to the Crazy Smirch sticker. That was the perfect size for these stickers that I ended up doing.
Yeah.
And so there was already, I think within like 2 days of putting it onto the Discord, I had 50 some stickers to order. And someone's like, hey, you should look at asking like Reddit or something. So I put it up there. And within a week of being on there, I think I had like 30 upvotes there, and then another 100 stickers that were on top of that, and that just kept growing.
Oh man! So how many stickers eventually did you end up like actually having orders for?
I want to say the amount of people that filled out interest came to 350, 360 stickers. That's not exactly how many people, because a lot of people wanted 5, 10 stickers to give to their friends as well. 'Cause $1 a piece, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Just to meme it and get some extras for people that heard of it word of mouth, and to go and hide the stickers, I ended up ordering 420.
Nice.
Gotcha.
We debated 365, but that was too small.
Yeah.
So then we joked 369. It was still too small, so we decided the best meme there was to go 420.
Makes sense. So there are 420 of those stickers. I got one over my whiteboard today.
Yeah.
Actually, because so you did a thing where you ordered a bunch of these stickers and then you hid them in places, right? You hid them in places and were posting on Discord, right?
Yes. Sadly, I didn't get to that until towards the end of the spring semester by that point, and it was in the fall semester that I originally ordered them. I went out a week or so before the end of the semester, right there during before finals week at least, and I think that week alone I hid like 20 to 25 different stickers around campus in various buildings. I tried not to repeat them. So every building had like one sticker. I think I spent an entire afternoon doing a loop around campus and stuff, hiding them in various places. And that was what that was. I posted them with just little hints, zoomed in pictures to try and do a scavenger hunt. 'Cause that was inspiration from when Nillen had done the Crazy Smart sticker.
Yeah.
That's actually how I got my Crazy Smart sticker. Because I didn't join until That was what, from the Christmas party, I believe,
I think
is
so.
when
Yeah.
they had them left over. So they were hiding them at the end of the spring semester the year before. And I remember going down to the Princess Point sign and stuff,
find
because
one
I
there.
saw it like, I'm sitting in the middle of class, look down at the Discord notification of, hey, here's a sticker, and I immediately recognized
Yeah.
the sign there and stuff. So I
Yeah.
was like, all right, sitting there tapping, waiting for the clock, race to get that, and I enjoyed that enough. So I wanted to bring that back with these stickers as well.
Yeah, that was super cool. Like I remember just kind of. Sometimes I feel guilty because I'm a professor and I'm kind of like, but whatever. But yeah, I happened to see one, and right outside my office, there's that wall that is like very, very identifiable, and I saw one posted there next to the chair, and I had to snag it. So yeah,
I actually laughed when you were the one that claimed that. I'm like,
yeah.
yep, that's one of the few people I figured would actually figure out where that one was at. That
Yeah,
one
yeah.
was, because of the being where it was very centered for anyone in the ECE
You'd have to
department
kinda
that would
know, yeah.
know where
Yeah.
it was.
It's kind of fun, like, I mean, were people actively like searching for them, or did you notice, or was it like if I know where the spot is, I'm going to it?
It seemed like it was a mix. There was definitely a few that I think within an hour or two of having it up, seemed like people knew exactly where they were going, especially for a few. I will admit I made some of them easier, some of them harder. But there were other ones that I know for that next week there before everyone left town, they were talking about trying to, joking, doing the redacted thing on Discord where you actually don't really show the location and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a few people that were working together to try and figure out some of them. Mainly the one by the clock tower. And I think that was the biggest one that people were actively looking for. There were a few that actually got forgotten about.
Oh yeah, are there still some that are quote unquote hidden?
No.
Okay.
They did finally get found, but it was end of September to sometime in mid-October where some of them got found this past year. So they made it from mid-April, sitting in their spots on campus, all the way through the summer and in partway through the fall semester.
Gosh.
Funny.
I think the longest one was the one actually in Walker. I put that one up on the second floor underneath one of the display cases. That was the last one found.
Yeah.
My most surprising one had to have been the one on the catwalk between Recce and the library. I put it up one of the pillars, and I'm not very tall, but I did the best I could to kind of keep it up and out of the way.
Yeah.
And that one, I would walk past there because I did summer classes going to Recce and stuff for the testing center to do my exams there. And I'd come back over to the library every day afterwards, and I could look up and see that while these tour groups kept going by either direction for for the first
Never
half of the
noticed it.
summer, no one ever noticed it.
Or they might have just thought it was like a graffiti thing, like it was like slapped there, right? Some people
Yeah.
might.
The that probably would have been the case, but there was another one they had to walk past in the library, up on the second floor there as well. If you walked around the corner, in the little V notch that's up on that main pillar, I had one there too, and that one also stayed around for a while.
You know, I think about like the whole Migigan Tek thing. I'm curious to see, do you both classify it as a prank? Or what would you classify it as if you had to dig into your English-speaking brain and put a word on it?
I definitely wouldn't use prank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
I mean, I guess a meme might be the most appropriate
meme,
thing.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
a meme ecosystem almost.
yes, yeah.
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 I was gonna say I feel like art is a little too fancy for it, but
Some of those events that you had for people submitting their own though afterwards
oh my
did
gosh,
become very
that was so much fun.
Tell me about that. I didn't watch that.
So, during some of the last, like, hey, I still have these shirts and it has been months. Please pick up your shirts. For one of them, I was like, well, I'm just gonna, like, this is the last chance. I'm just gonna stay here all day, like 9 to 5. I'm gonna set up movies. I'm gonna bring snacks. I'm gonna bring, like, coloring pages with the Migigan Tek on it. Please, like, show up, come hang out, and if you have a shirt, pick up your shirt. I'm not passing them out after this. And some of the people, like, a lot of the people were taking I just like print out the lines, and they'd fill it in with all sorts of crazy stuff. Like I remember there was a couple where Blizzard got fishnet leggings, or one of them he had really cool glasses on.
Yeah.
You know, they had a lot of fun with it for sure.
What doing like all the logistics of like the shirts and all that stuff? What did you? Was it a transformative experience for you in any way? Like, did you come like learning like, oh God, I'm never gonna do anything like this again, or like what did you?
A little bit, yeah. I definitely like. I think it definitely had its own sort of reward, but there was for sure a point in my life where like I am never doing anything like this again. I never want to see the words Migigan Tek ever again.
Yeah.
I'm a little, now that it's officially over, I have officially gotten rid of all shirts, shirts, sweatshirts, what have you. I'm a little better about it now because it's in the past and I don't have to stress about it anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with this.
Well, yeah, no, I remember, right, so I'm in most cases, I'm kind of a textbook lurker, and honestly, I'd be interested to see how many other professors are actually like lurkers. Like you'd probably be surprised.
Me too.
I do know of some professors that are lurkers, so people are on Discord, beware. There are professors out there, but usually I engage once in a while. And but I remember watching or like reading like students complaining like there wasn't like an order, and you were like, no, it's dead. Like let the meme die.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh,
oh, why don't we try order 3? Why don't we try order 4? I'm like,
this is probably a good opportunity to say, why have there been no more orders?
So the long and short of it is we were going through Custom Ink. Custom Ink got a cease and desist from the university. They're like, hey, you're making money. Stop doing that. Or we're going to stop ordering shirts through you guys, I guess was kind of the idea behind it. They forward those sentiments to me. They're like, we can't do any more they forwarded them to Sam because Sam took over
the third order.
Third order.
Yeah.
No, that was in the process of being ordered too. So people had to get their refunds back on that one.
I remember that because so I got a shirt for myself and my wife, and my daughter, who at the time was like 2 years old, absolutely loved the shirt. She was like, "Is that the silly husky shirt?" Like seriously, like she'd wake up in the morning, I'd take her out of her crib, and she would just think it was so funny. And so I was like, I have to get her a shirt.
I'm so glad that she did manage to get one.
Well, no, so I wasn't able to get one for my daughter. That was part of the third order. Is I was gonna get like
but like eventually you did.
No, I never did. No, I never got
I thought you did. I thought I gave you one.
No, you gave me one that fit my wife and then my dad, but
all right, fourth order, we're getting one for Shane's kid.
Yeah, I know. It really makes me sad. But so I remember like being disappointed just for my daughter's sake.
Yeah.
Were you ever like scared? Like that Migigan Tek's gonna like do something serious against you or anything along those lines?
For a little bit, I definitely was. At least for like the first order, I was like, oh no, well, I'm a college student. I don't have money for a lawyer, but also like, I'm not making enough money for it to be worth it. Like, I'm not even making one semester's worth of money off of this. I don't see.
Because you didn't, did you net any money off of this or?
Yes. It was like, I think all in all between both orders, I did try to get some of the stuff like passed out to like Josh and Nillen because ultimately it was their designs. Yeah. But I think like overall it was like maybe a couple $100.
Gotcha.
That was enough to help cover grocery money for me and rent. And I was like, you know what?
Well, and it seemed like a lot of labor on your part.
Yeah, it was. A good couple of dozens of hours.
So you probably only made like $2 an hour after all said and done.
After everything was said and done.
And you had it better than I did on that. I think after it was to order those stickers, it came out to somewhere between $250 to $300, and I was only doing like $1 a sticker. which originally was just enough to cover the order, but as it grew and grew, it was like a little bit less than that. So I think I actually only came out to like $50 profit.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mind you, I still have a bunch of stickers because there was a lot of people that like, yeah, I want stickers, never showed up or got back to me. So I've still got a stack. I think last I looked, it was maybe 60, 70 stickers.
Yeah.
Just from the people that stopped showing up for them.
Yeah.
And stuff, but with the time and then the shipping on there too that I did for some of the people that weren't up here at the time, there was like nothing left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like kind of thinking about. So I did a lot of like pranking related stuff in undergrad, and I always most of my stuff, most of it was like harmless. Like I remember, so I did my undergrad at Saginaw Valley State University, and the engineering building has these. It's like that exposed ceiling where there's like all like the wires and all that stuff, and there's like these lights that drop down. The lights are higher, and then there's like a diffuser. Anyways, we cut out like a perfect Batman logo and like put it on there. We got up in the ladder and put it there, and it went there for like. It seemed like almost a whole semester, and no one did anything about it because it was like a perfect execution, and I know like the dean had like walked under it like every day and didn't do anything about it. So it was pretty much okay. This is part of the building now.
Yeah.
And then what happened? I don't know who did it, but another student like made like the Green Lantern logo and like put it up there, and then it just like started spreading, and then eventually there were like 15 superheroes and all the lights in the head.
Oh my gosh,
But-
that's amazing.
Anyways, if you do classify it as a prank, which we kind of decided we don't, I find it beautiful because it's one of those things that people derived a lot of joy from, and there was essentially no victim, right? Yeah. Like, if there was a victim, it would be the graphic designer for the academic logo and the designer of the crazy smart. And I'd kind of be curious to hear like what their thoughts were. Like, these people are probably actually on campus somewhere. You know,
maybe, yeah.
It'd be interesting to like hear their thoughts. What interesting stories do you remember being generated from like this? Like, are there any out there that you remember? I know I have one, but I'll let you go first.
I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
I can't think of
the only one I've got, it was randomly finding out that my wife's TA for one of her UO lab came in and wanted 10 of these 10 of the stickers.
Yeah.
And she shows up the next day to her UO lab, and on his helmet, which he's wearing while teaching the class, he's got the logo, that sticker just plastered
all
right there in the front.
That's funny.
So that's the first thing you see when you look at him.
Yeah.
Beyond that, minus a few people, I haven't ran into anybody else that's still had the sticker or anything else. So it was still during the, definitely not a lockdown time, but still where people were being cautious about being around everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was, I think, the only thing that I had that was interesting from it.
Yeah, I know, like, mine, so my parents live down south, kind of like in like the Midland Saginaw area. And I went down to visit them, and I was wearing this shirt, and we went to the Midland Mall, and it must have been a parent of a student saw me wearing it and said like, "Excuse me, are you making fun of Michigan Tech? Like, are you from another school making fun of Michigan Tech?" And I was like, "No, I'm a professor at Michigan Tech." Like, no, it's. And she's like, "Well, why are you wearing that shirt?" And I was like, "It's just funny. I don't know. I'm sorry." Yeah, and
I do think it would have been really funny if the Northern kids got in on this. I won't lie.
a little bit, yeah. Because what do you think? Not to get a little philosophical. Personally, to me, I kind of think it's making fun of Michigan Tech students, but also like, what do you want to say? Like the word is like humanizing a little bit, like trying to be the opposite of that school that's like, I go to Harvard, and you have your wine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it almost would fall under like why they got rid of the crazy smart thing in the first place was because they were worried about people not feeling smart enough.
Yeah.
So kind of making it down of making fun of yourself basically is I think that's the way I look at it. And I know wife's uncle, he came up here early 2000s and he graduated with an EE degree. We gave him a sticker and he absolutely laughed and almost fell out of his chair when he saw what the sticker was and thought it was great.
Yeah.
He said he was taking that to work and putting it on his desk. So that's what I've noticed. People seem to think of it. They thought it was a great thing of, hey, we're not actually that fancy of a school. And there's definitely, I think a few people I've seen that are from other schools that are like, that's the idea that people think we are. That we're some fancy high-class school. When I don't think they could be probably more from the truth, honestly, most days.
Pretty down to earth,
It's like this weird kind of like dichotomy almost of like, it's like, oh, we're such an uppity tech school with such great rates of employment after graduation. Oh, and also we'll accept anyone with a pulse. You just got to make it through the weeder classes. It's like, what?
Yeah.
No.
The shirt also sparked inspired a mimic, right? Wasn't it like Penn State or something along those lines? Or
It might have been.
There was a few.
There was a couple,
I know Penn State, I believe, was one that I do vaguely remember. I think it was actually someone here that had friends at Northern, if I remember, that was in the Discord. They also worked with them and did one for Northern.
Oh, I want that one so bad.
I'm almost certain it got buried in the Migigan Tek server. You'd have to dig back so far, and I don't remember who it was.
Control F Northern, probably.
Yeah, Control F. Certainly, we'll only find the thing that we're looking for, and not anything weird about Northern and Michigan Tech. No art of Blizzard and no art of Blizzard and Willie exists. That's not real.
I'm glad that I might have missed that if that was a thing.
I missed it too.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know.
I'll classify that under the one of the rules I don't look up anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it was done well, but
I have a question now. You ready?
Uh-oh.
I guess it's only been questions. Here's the question. What we're gonna do is we're each gonna pick something, and that's gonna go into the Spotify survey. It's a survey. Yeah. So okay, you ready? Something that is not an Olympic sport that should become an Olympic sport. What do you think?
As someone that is not sporty at all, that's actually kind of hard to think of.
Yeah.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh, if you're going to go with that.
That'd be really funny.
If you want to go with Yu-Gi-Oh, I'd have to go with Magic.
Yeah.
As someone that has, I think we just finished cataloging our cards.
$10 million of cards?
No, we actually have properly cataloged. We have just over $4,800 worth. We have some 18,000 cards. It takes up an entire bookshelf.
Yeah.
That would be a decent one, but I don't know if that would even gain any traction for enough watchers, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because, like, every time that I think about changing the Olympics, I'm not usually thinking about adding sports. I'm thinking of adding things like, there was someone who suggested online, it's like, why don't we have regular people do this first? See what a regular person running
for
looks
reference.
like.
That's a good idea, yeah.
I actually just saw something about that the other day, and there are countries that's apparently what they do. They just have to pay their own way to get there and stuff.
Or alternatively, the incredibly funny, what if we made the Vatican compete?
Yes.
If they're a country, then I want to see what they can do.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
I think on a more serious one there for that, and this will go with how the Migigan Tek thing started with the robotics. As someone that was on the drive team, and I was the one that was in charge of getting the robot from our pits to the field. You get all the same, you have to figure out how to optimize your cart and run your 120-pound robot through an obstacle course.
Yeah.
Without letting it fall over, break, get it ready and set up at the end to go and compete on its own track, own course.
And then make sure someone doesn't accidentally ground something where they're not supposed to and fry your robot.
Dreadnoughts. I was there that year they set their robot on fire.
Oh no.
That's awesome. I mean, it's sad, but it's also kind of awesome.
They took their LED lighting too far.
Yeah, I
Shorted out
remember
and burnt their robot.
for one of our one of our meets, we accidentally grounded something like we grounded it directly to the frame, and our encoders were fried. So it's like in the middle of competition, the code team is losing their mind trying to figure out how to do time-based
Without encoders?
auton instead of distance-based, and we made it work. It
Yeah.
was wild.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I tried learning my team's programming. They switched to Java after I left, of course. But for the 3 years that I did it, at least, and before then even, they had done everything through LabVIEW. For all of the programming on that. I looked at that, and as much as it looks like just a wiring diagram, I could not follow, especially mid-season when I'm already doing all the electrical, mechanical,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and everything else. That was a wild time.
Yeah.
It really sucks. I had an idea my answer for that question about the Olympic sport, and I forgot it. So now I have to improvise. I'm gonna improvise, and I'm gonna tell you about this sport. Its name is Justice Ball, and I just invented it. I invented it a while ago. Okay, you ready? There's no rules to it. I haven't figured that out. But okay, suppose this: you have an arena made entirely out of Velcro, and then all of the players also wear like the opposite of Velcro. Okay.
Like the carnival.
Yeah, like the carnival things where you jump up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have an
gosh.
arena. And so the idea is, like, it would be like something, maybe like kind of like a football where you got to get like one ball from one location to the other.
Okay.
But like, you can get pushed down, and then to the point where you're like disabled, and the team has to like pick you up. And so then it becomes a sacrifice of like, should you go after the ball, or should you like pull up team members? How many team members can you get pushed down? I think
I want to see this sport happen now.
I know. We need to find a funder. Like, it needs to happen. Yeah, that can be the next Michigan Tech memes. We can make Justice Ball a thing.
Kopeck has money, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
He can make this happen.
Yeah, it could
Personally
be
funded
internally
for us.
funded. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so Justice Ball, that's my entry to the...
I like it. I like it.
I'm sticking with mine. I know a lot of tech students would probably go broomball would be a fun one.
Yeah.
Broomball would
That
be
we
a
could
fun
actually
one.
file that under the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
Have that with the hockey teams. They have to go and also compete in broomball now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm trying to remember. What did the various college students rename Quidditch to? Like the real life Quidditch. Because I think that would also be a very interesting one, because part of like the whole thing about it is that it's not taking like gender into account. It's not separated by gender. It's like anyone can play
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
this game is that I cannot remember the name of for the life of me.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize they like renamed it.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember that, and for some reason I feel like it was a mix of Quidditch and like rugby or something.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's very much still people running around on the ground,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't remember by any means what it was either, but I remember that being a thing. Was it a couple years ago now? During the time where everything was a blur.
yeah. Because, I remember back before more of us knew that J.K. Rowling was like super transphobic. I remember being super excited because U of M had their own team, and I wanted to join that team when I went to U of M for sure, totally, definitely.
Yeah.
That worked out really well for me.
I got accepted.
Really?
I just decided to come here instead still, because this was my number one. They were number two.
Okay, interesting.
But, yeah.
I got two more prompt/questions. One is also kind of related to the Migigan Tech thing, but it's like a broad thing. I wish that this existed when I was an undergrad at SVSU, but there are so many Discord communities. How important is Discord to the student body? Or maybe that's a personal thing. Like how important is it to you in terms of the way you function?
I think actually something I saw Nillen comment recently when we were talking on the Discord about how the whole Migigan Tech thing and the Crazy Smart came up. For me, especially I'm older than most students. I mean, I just turned 25, so like I'm nowhere near the most age of students that I'm taking undergrad classes with.
Yeah.
Being on Discord, it feels like there's a little less bias of that, and it's so much easier to make friends.
Yeah.
And I know that's what Nillen had said on theirs. They were glad it was a way for them, especially, I think they said during 2020 there and stuff, to reach out and make some friends. Actually find people that they had something in common with. So like I'm a part of a few different servers, both the ECE, the Automotive Enthusiast. I just started one up for the just over a year ago for the mechatronics department even, and stuff. And that's been kind of growing slowly here this past year. And that's been actually kind of great for some of the students. They've actually had multiple questions that they've come on there for. And like we've got the advisor on there, so they're able to help answer some of those questions and get feedback from students that are closer to graduating versus people starting out.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely an underutilized
Yeah.
by a long shot. I know I've had a couple of professors that are like, yeah, start some those of you that are familiar with it, start Discord servers so you can talk about your class and get homework help. And there's like, I think the biggest one, I remember taking EE 3010 with Glenn Archer. And he was one that said, yep, that's what people have done in the past. Go ahead and do that. And there was a group that did that, and that was very helpful for that semester, getting through the homework problems there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess for me, at least personally, a lot of my Discord experience it really is community, you know, because like I do have my own like IRL friend group, but I also recognize that when a lot of us get together, I tend to get really overwhelmed really easily. But on Discord, it's a lot easier to kind of, first of all, to step back and be able to say, okay, I'll come back to this conversation in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's also nice because you can separate things out. You know, someone can be talking about, you know, their favorite game in one corner, and the other one can be venting about their roommate in the other. And, you know, and you can kind of bounce between them at your leisure. And it's also really cool because, again, like, I have been in the ECE server pretty much since at least the beginning of my time here, but I haven't really met most of these people.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, you were a huge prominent part of ECE for a long time, and I remember you came to pick up your shirt, and I'm like, who are you? I need a name. And you're like, Shane? I'm like, last name? And you're like,
Dr.
Shane? And I'm like, oh, Dr. Shane, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true. Like, well, it's funny because I talked to you, because I just randomly talked to students about random stuff. I think I commented on you had a Satisfactory sweater.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that you were.
It was their Fixmas sweater and stuff, and I was too tired to carry on that conversation during getting ready for exams at that point.
Yeah.
But I remember you saying that, and then I was like texting you last week, getting ready for this here, and it's like, oh wait, that was you.
I realized that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got 3 minutes left, and I gotta go pick up my daughter. So, the last question, signature question, is to both of you: what album do you recommend people give a shot?
I don't know albums so much as I just remember artists.
Okay, well, artists, whatever musical thing you want to recommend.
So I can go on that first unless you have yours. Unless you know your album first, I can go with a more of a specific genre. Yeah. So I listen to a little bit more of metal, and not this Christmas, but the year before, my father-in-law introduced me to Ginger, which is a Ukrainian band actually. It has a female frontist, and there was one song that anytime I see people reacting to their song, I have to go and listen to it, Pisces. Because she's got a very, very beautiful, almost like an opera type voice early on, but then she can switch on a fly
like a growl
to the deep growls. And if you weren't looking at the video, you would think it was two different singers.
Yeah.
And since then, that's gotten me into a few other people like that, like Spiritbox and stuff, which is Canadian. But that type of thing where it's just that snap switch, I wish I could say what subgenre that would fall under, but that's always just, it's great seeing people react to it. Yeah. And just a great vibe to just sit there and end of the school day, crank it up on the way home.
What group is that?
Ginger.
Ginger.
With J's.
Gotcha.
So exactly like would you call it a vegetable?
Ginger's a root.
Root. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
But with J's instead.
Interesting.
And they've got quite a variety where they do that really well.
Huh. What about yours?
So, I'm having trouble remembering exact album names, but I am a personal fan of the alternative rock scene. So one of the ones that I've really been listening to a lot is Half Alive. There's a couple of songs, I'm trying to remember exact the ones, but it's just those ones where it's like on the way home from work just screaming along to the lyrics because you're so exhausted and these guys get it.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting. And that, okay, the name of that band was?
Half Alive.
Half Alive.
That's like my vibes when I was working at Walmart. This was after I went and saw Slipknot. People equal shit.
Yeah.
I'd sit there, roll the windows down, and just crank that as I was leaving the parking lot.
Yeah, I know.
What a great end to the day.
Yeah, I know there's always this thing about like, sometimes like I'll judge people. Oh God, there's my timer.
No, the timer!
No.
My daughter. So, where's that coming? Oh yeah, there we go. Anyways, there's kind of this thing about like, sometimes I'll judge people for blasting their music, but then I'll like do the same exact thing, and it's like everyone needs to hear this. They'll feel the same emotions that I do, and oftentimes they don't. But.
Yeah.
No, I'll go with that. My car, I've tested it. You could stand within 3 feet on the outside no matter what volume I'm listening to. And I'm partially deaf, so I crank it way up too.
Yeah.
But if you're within like 3 to 5 feet, you might hear like the bass hit at times, but you don't hear the actual music. The windows don't let enough out. Yeah. But those ones where you hear the music across the parking lot, or at least the bass slamming, that's too much personally.
Yeah. I mean, I won't lie, whenever I'm listening to music that loud, I don't really care about what other people are up to. Yeah. I need it to be loud enough so that I stop thinking about anything else. Everyone else can deal with it when I get home from work.
I think that just goes with the genres too.
Yeah.
Alt rock and metal, that's the whole point of what you want to do.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Well, that's pretty much everything. So thank you so much for kind of mainly chronologicalizing
words,
telling the story of Migigan Tek. I mean, we got this nice little lexicon for that.
It's not fully over. I still have stickers if people want.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I think it'd be fun if we started hiding them again.
I'm gonna try. I talk about like my knee issues where I'm trying to get around campus more.
Yeah. I'm
gonna try and do that more because it's a good exercise for me to do that. Well, but that's the hope, is to try and hide them again.
Now it's been recorded and it's distributed, and now you're pretty much locked in.
Speaking of recording and distributing, Michigan Tech lawyers, if you're reading this, it's not too late to send me a cease and desist. I will frame it over my diploma. I will take a cease and desist. You don't even have to mean it. It'll just be fun.
Perfect. All right. Keep it real.